Hello, welcome back to my channel and to another reaction video. This time we'll be continuing the Warhammer 40k series. This is Battlefleet Gothic.
No one within the Imperium of Man lives a life free of the burden of responsibility. The High Lords of Terra must act in their duties with faith, strength, and resilience, and no less is expected from the lowliest scribe or penal laborer. The fate of 100 souls might be determined by the conviction of a single preacher. The
That's
fate of a
cool
battle
shot.
might be decided by the actions
Cool
of a
art
single
for Diamond.
regiment. The fate of a world might rest in the determination of a single army. The fate of a sector, and perhaps the entire Imperium, might depend on a single fleet, one that, for millennia, has stood guard against all the enemies of mankind, and made famous the name Battlefleet Gothic. Like all Imperial battle fleets, Battlefleet Gothic is responsible for the protection of a single
Storm of
operational
the
zone,
Emperor's
in this
Wrath.
case, the eponymous Gothic sector within the greater Segmentum Obscurus. Its ships must regularly patrol their sector, performing a variety of tasks. These most commonly include deterring pirates and raiders from attacking local merchant vessels, transporting Imperial Guard regiments to various war zones, providing orbital support, and accompanying Adeptus Mechanicus explorator fleets as they travel to the Imperial frontier. These and 100 other duties ensure the survival of the Imperium across the Gothic sector. To achieve this, Battlefleet Gothic is composed of between 50 and 75 cruisers and battleships, supplemented by dozens of squadrons of lighter escorts. The exact number of vessels within the Battlefleet has varied drastically across the centuries as the importance of the Gothic sector has waxed and waned. The presence of the Eye of Terror in the neighboring Cadian sector means that Battlefleet Gothic is rarely under strength, and the entire segmentum exists in a state of constant readiness. Battlefleet Gothic is normally split into detachments known as battle groups.
Yeah, the
These
Cadia
consist
episode
of
was
one
in
or
the
two
Intense.
cruisers and a single escort squadron. Should a situation arise that a single battle group is ill-equipped to handle, additional battle groups will be called to reinforce. Only in the most dire circumstance will the entire battle group be assembled in a single formation. In addition to its warships, Battlefleet Gothic extends its command over thousands of transports, couriers, and system patrol vessels. A network of orbital platforms and space stations likewise fall under the authority of Battlefleet Gothic, most notably Port Maw, which serves as the fleet's designated headquarters. In ancient artificial world, Port Maw is one of the greatest harbors and anchorages of the Imperial Navy. It acts as a supply and mustering point for the entire sector, while its enormous starports service Imperial warships and house mothballed reserve fleets. Within the Segmentum Obscurus, it is second only to the fleet headquarters at Cypra Mundi. It was during Abaddon the Despoiler's 12th Black Crusade that Battlefleet Gothic earned its legendary status. Cut off from the rest of the Imperium by a catastrophic warp storm, the fleet was forced to fight alone, outnumbered and without hope of reprieve or reinforcement. For 21 years, it led the fanatical defense of the sector, fighting
Holy
hundreds
shit.
of battles against at
21
least
years.
8, and perhaps as many as 20, Chaos war fleets. Various Xenoforces too plagued the sector, with Eldar, Orc, and sometimes human pirates attempting to take advantage of the unraveling situation. Ancient weapons known as Blackstone fortresses were Abaddon's primary objective during the war, and he unleashed their hidden potential to decimate at first planets, and then entire star systems. Billions of Imperial citizens were killed, and only through immense sacrifice was Abaddon prevented from assembling the power of all 6 such fortresses known to exist. Finally, in the Battle of Gethsemane, Lord Admiral Cornelius von Ravensburg engaged a major Chaos fleet in a single decisive engagement. Victory here marked the turning point of the war, while the weakening warp storms allowed Imperial reinforcements to arrive and relieve the beleaguered defenders. It would take almost 800 years for Battlefleet Gothic and the rest of the sector to recover. The plans of Abaddon had been defeated, or perhaps only delayed. With the 13th Black Crusade unleashed across the whole of the Imperium, the importance of Battlefleet Gothic is once more paramount. Fleets of a size not seen since the end of the last Great War have been assembled at Cypramundi in preparation for a great counterattack into the Cadian Gate. The warships of Battlefleet Gothic are among them, and together with Battlefleets Agrippina, Corona, Scaris, and even elements of Battlefleet Solar, are poised to strike back at the despoiler and avenge the loss of Cadia. If any doubt the Imperium's resolve, they need only look to a great monolith which stands 10 times the height of a man within the Chamber of Heroes in the Imperial Palace on Holy Terra itself. Enshrined on its surface are the names of every crewman, from those who served on the lowliest merchant ship to Lord Admiral Ravensburg himself. 800 years ago, this monument was unveiled, a means to commemorate heroes of the Imperium who fought against the greatest enemy of man the last time he dared war against the might of Battlefleet Gothic.
Pretty damn epic. And the design is just holy shit. I swear the design of the flagship or whatever, it's just so cool, you see. It's literally a castle ship, basically. That kind of design, that's just really epic. And I love the attention to detail. The artwork, I've said it before, but yeah, it's always amazing what people do. And yeah. And Battlefleet Gothic has its own memorial in Holy Terra, looking monument. But yeah, a lot of familiar stuff here. I've seen the Cadia film already. That's by far my favorite. It's just very epic, and yeah, the Abaddon stuff. I've seen that as well. I don't think they specified that it was Battlefleet Gothic that took part in the defense of. That it played crucial part in defeating Abaddon, but yeah, cool to know. And yeah, I really like this character leader, some kind of I don't know, war cardinal, or I think this is probably an inquisitor, maybe. I could be wrong, but yeah, it does have the kind of holy garment. But yeah, a lot of epic stuff. I mean, being cut off from reinforcements, for 21 years they faced and protected the Gothic sector alone against all manner of. There was a bunch of enemies that came, but yeah, they prevailed. Just goes to show that the Imperium of Man has some really powerful warships. I mean, the fleet is extremely vast. They did mention that there were a lot. I mean, at the end, when they go through the memorial, there are a lot of vice admiral, captains, and whatnot, from lowest transport ships to the flagship itself. But yeah, this was really epic and fun to learn. But what do you guys think? Write your thoughts down below. Hope you enjoyed my reaction. Comment, like, subscribe if you want, and I will see you in another video. Bye.